Right, in this video we will be looking at how to draw regions, a mask, just generally map things out. So we have our image that we thresholded earlier, and I'm on channel 5. Now currently it's set to grey, or it could be red, whatever. We want to actually give this a set of colours that we're going to have an idea of what they are. So for this example, all I'm going to label is this region of muscle here, this region of where you got the fibers going out. I'm going to label the top, and I'm going to label this, which I think is the hyoid back here, in a different color. So what I need to do is first choose what I want my layers to be, and it's usually good to just have this in a Excel spreadsheet. So I'm not going to give these good names because I don't know them off my heart, but we'll go for surface muscle. We'll go for the vertical fibers. We'll go for the ventral muscle, whatever, and hyoid, I think. Doesn't really matter too much for this purpose. So we've got 4 colors that we're going to want, and to remind myself, I'm going to fill these in with a set of colors that I'd like to use. So we'll call them red, blue, green, and let's go for orange. Now, back in ImageJ, we want to set those colors to be the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 when in the image. What I mean by that is you have a thing called a lookup table. Image color edit LUT will let you see it. You saw earlier that as you go across this, you'll find a number changing, and it's because what it's doing is it knows that if you've got a pixel with the value 80, it's going to the number 80 in this table, and it's literally just, which there is, and it's literally just drawing whatever color you got in this box. And we want to give it some special colors so that we can like paint in red and it will draw the number 1 into the image. A little bit hard to get your head around, but hopefully it'll make sense in a moment. First, let's get rid of all these other colors. To do that, I'll give you this, it's called blank LUT, which just makes everything black. Now we want to leave 0 as black, and we want to make red, number 1 red, number 2 green, number 3 blue, and the last one we had was orange, which is a bit red. Yeah, sort of half red, half. In fact, I think if you actually go to like 1, 2, 7, it'll be like, yeah, that's a lovely orange. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the 4 colors, red, and you can see in this top bar it says index 1 is red, index 2 is green, index 3 is blue, index 4 is orange, just like we had set up there. Now I'm going to paint them in different ways. Let's do the hyoid first. Oh. Sorry for the break, I got interrupted by a phone call, a spam one. Right, so I double click this to get the color picker open, and I can just click orange, and now wherever I draw in this, it will paint the number 4. So I'm going to do the hyoid completely manually, just with a nice paintbrush kind of tool. So this is quite big, so let's say like, I don't know, 30 pixels. So I've just got the paintbrush, and I can just draw in this area. And you can see the circular shape I'm trying to pick out. And we don't need to worry too much about the black space at the bottom. We can just include that. It doesn't matter too much. Don't need to be neat on that. It's more about the boundaries between the structures that you need to worry about. And while there isn't any like eraser tool, you just paint in black and it's about the same thing. Should be at least. Yeah. Because it will find the first color that matches whatever color you got selected, and the first one is 0. Okay, so we've drawn a little orange blob over where I reckon the hyoid is. That's good, I suppose. But we want to like let's fill the rest in one color and then draw the other bits over the top. So let's start using some shapes. I'm going to just draw around the tongue using the polygon selection tool, which you'll find a lot easier to use than the freehand selection tool, because you don't have to have a steady hand. You can just go like this, and you can even edit the points later if you want. So let's trace around the whole tongue. Again, you don't need to worry too much about black space. Black space kind of gets ignored. It's just if there's other tissue there that you really need to worry about the line, the actual boundaries. And as I said before, you can draw these shapes on a full image, like not this binary one. It doesn't actually make too much difference as long as you can then just copy this channel over. Now, if I click the letter T on my keyboard, just a lowercase t, it'll bring up an ROI manager, that's region of interest manager, and it will have saved that shape. I'd also like to get the shape that I just drew for the orange, so I can take the magic wand, click on my orange blob, click T, and now I have both of them, so I can go back and forth between the two. So let's fill this in with the color we had for, let's do it for the surface muscle. Let's call all this, we're going to call everything surface muscle for the time being, and then get these other two shapes out of it. So we want to fill it in with red. So we go back to the color picker, click red, and I'm going to click F on my keyboard to fill it. Now we've lost the orange, but we can get it back. We can just go back onto the shape we drew for that. He says, there we go. Go back to orange and click it. So now we can watch up here again, red. Yeah, the red area is 1, the orange area is 4. Okay. Now how are we going to get the other stuff out? Let's turn this channel off so you can see the cells more clearly. Remember, you can just turn them off and on, it's fine. What we want to get is two shapes that we can put straight over to fill them in with the other colors. And what's the cutest way to do this? Let's just draw around where I think the boundary is between those vertical fibers and the muscles adjacent to it. And notice that I'm going kind of deep off into the black there. And I'm going straight through the orange blob we did earlier. This particularly is an area where you might want to be looking back at the original image. You can even draw these shapes on the original image and then just move them through the ROI manager. Let me demonstrate that. If I open up the original image, these shapes will actually sit straight over it. So for example here, I didn't do a very good job. I can move this point down there. And in fact, you might want to do more of your drawing on here, but then just so draw them on here, click T so that they're in the bank. And then when you move them over here, everything's being very slow because I'm recording. It's very annoying. There we go. That's a nice better line. Now, I want to fill in the shape that is the overlap of this shape and this shape. Now to do that, I'm going to hold down Command or Control on a Windows to select them both. And a whole bunch of options appear. and will only give me the intersection between the two. So I can click that, and I get the intersection between the two. There it is. And if I bring back the map, you'll see that that exactly should... Ah, but it's overlapping with the orange. Ooh. Now I could just fill that in again. I could just fill it in again, then fill it over the orange again. That's fine. But it could be nicer to make it... why not let's get the regions sorted. So to remove an overlap like that, it's a little bit annoying. What you got to do is select the shapes that you want to remove the overlap from, and actually combine them into this rather, let's be nice and call it a mushroom shape. And so now we have the areas combined, and then select the one you want to take away, and this combined one, and use XOR. And that gives me, I'm clicking T again just to get it back in the bank. We went from that to that, which you see the difference is we've removed the bits off the ends that weren't overlapping with the red. Then we went to that, which added in the orange bit completely, and then we took the orange bit away. If you didn't add in the orange bit completely, the shape you'd get would be, it would remove the overlap, but then it would keep all the bits that weren't overlapping, which is annoying. But there we go, that's the shape we wanted. These were the vertical fibers, we wanted those in blue. So we go back into our color picker and click blue. There we go. Now this bit we want in green. Now I could do all this other fancy stuff to do it. Or I believe, seeing as it's just a contiguous shape, it's not connected to anything else, I should just be able to fill it in green. So I just did the fill tool and clicked it in green. Now later, there we go, that's a map. That's done it into a few layers. But maybe later you're going to find that you want to segment this along itself. That's fine. Let's pick out, let's make a thing which will be these three blocks are now going to be separate. I'm going to draw a shape just up the image of this, like a nice wedge. There we go. That's fine. We're going to make these three stand out. And I've added it to the ROI manager by clicking T. There we go, that's that shape. Now we need to edit the LUT to add a few more colors. And let's make them magenta, cyan, and yellow. So we're going to make that yellow, that's going to be yellow, that's going to be cyan, and that's going to be magenta, so it kind of like matches the other colors. I've got another bunch of shapes there, but let's just get rid of them. Let's do this from scratch. So we just got this one, and I want to get the intersection between the red area and this, so the bit which is there. And to do that, should have double clicked. I just use the one tool, select the red, click it, then go here, holding down Shift or Command, get them both. We want the and, which would be that. Don't even need to add it to the thing, to the manager. I'm just going to get magenta, I'm going to click fill, and we turn it magenta. We'll do the next one, one tool, click T, select our wedge shape, and our blue shape, get the intersection, we're going to do it in cyan, and we're going to fill. And finally the green shape, click T to get it in the manager. Everything's being slow because I'm recording. Click the and, can't quite see it there, but I want to be in yellow, and we'll fill. So now we've got a more complicated map. We've got 1, 2, 3. This is also 1, 2, and 3. And here we got 5, 6, and 7. And this is 4. So that's the general principle. As we work out exactly, what's clear and what's not clear, I'll hopefully be able to fill you in, but hopefully you should get the idea that we're just painting with numbers. We're defining which colors we want by going into Edit LUT and just making a box. And then we're grabbing them out of the color picker and we're drawing, painting, filling, playing with shapes to map things out.